today. So again, my name is Reese Herberg. I'm the marketing administrator here at Outfinity, and I'm going to be leading the presentation. This is Managing Outlook 101. The purpose of today's presentation is going to help you be more productive in your inbox and manage your inbox on a day-to-day basis better. Many of us hopefully here are already using Outlook, or if you're thinking about using Outlook, you may be using the standard tools, but there are tools that you're already paying for or settings that you're already paying for that could be helping you shave down the time that we spend in our inbox that you're not currently using. And that's why we're here today, to help you learn how to use them. I know that for me, I spend a lot of my day in my inbox, so making that experience more manageable, making it less cluttered, and automating some of the tasks that I have to do every day has been a lifesaver. So hopefully you can take something rather to your home office, your regular office, share with your coworkers. That can just help you be more productive and help streamline communication, collaboration, and productivity in the inbox. So first things first, before we jump into the meat of the presentation today, I just want to touch on a few housekeeping items. Firstly, you'll notice at the top of your screen a Q&A button. I highly encourage you all to utilize that. We are going to be checking it periodically, but we are also going to have an allocated time at the end specifically for Q&A. So if I'm going too fast, if you just want me to touch on something again, if you have a question about how one of the tools I go over is used, please use the Q&A. Don't be shy, and hopefully we can help you guys out and just make sure that we're fully understanding what I'm explaining as I'm doing it. I will be sending the slides later, but again, any questions that you have in the moment, feel free to ask. The second thing I just want to quickly touch on is I encourage you all to stay for the entirety of the presentation, because at the end, we're going to have an AirTag giveaway. Yay! It's always fun. We do a drum roll, and one lucky person in the room is going to win an AirTag. So it could be you. You never know. So I really encourage you to stay at the end. So what you can expect from today's presentation, firstly, we're going to quickly go over the Outlook interface and just review. Again, if you're in this webinar, you most likely are already an Outlook user, so you're already somewhat familiar. But just so you're familiar, as I reference where certain things are on the screen and on the interface, we're just going to quickly do a quick review for you all, just so you're familiar. Then we're going to get into the meat of the presentation today. Those are the Outlook settings that you may not be aware of, or you may see every single day of your screen but have no idea what they are. We're going to help you guys out today, so you are not only familiar with what they do, but you can also know how you can start to use it in a practical sense day to day in your inbox. So that, again, is going to take up the majority of the presentation. Then we're going to wrap up just with habits that you can start implementing today to manage your inbox and make your life in your inbox better. I always like to say that managing an inbox is a lot like managing your room. If you leave it cluttered, if you procrastinate with cleaning things up, it's going to get overwhelming. So these are, again, just habits that have worked for some of our clients, but also habits that are recommended by CEOs, successful business owners, that help them be more productive in their inbox, that you can take home and steal and use today. And then we're going to wrap up again with that Q&A. Please use it throughout. And then also that AirTag giveaway. So make sure that you stay until the end. All right, so firstly, like I said, again, this is very basic, something that you're most likely already familiar with, but your Outlook interface. So you know when I refer to home, or when I refer to that top navigation bar, you know where to find it. This is the most recent version of Outlook. It may look different on your screen, but it should operate pretty much the same. That home screen is where you most likely live for the most part in your inbox. That's where you can draft and compose new messages, where you can forward messages, you can archive, utilize rules and quick steps and tasks, which we'll get to later. But all of that lives on the top of your screen. And then View, we're not going to touch on too much today just for the sake of time, but View, you can actually manipulate to control how your messages are displayed to you. So if you find even that the font of your messages you don't enjoy, how big they appear in your screen, I encourage you to play around with that. If you find that your messages currently, the way they're set up, gives you a headache, play around with it, see if there's a different style that works for you. But again, that's not today's presentation. But if you didn't know that existed, now you know. So I encourage you to see what works for you in regards to how your messages are displayed. So I really want to touch on this. This is the left navigation bar. I'm going to be referring to this a lot today throughout today's presentation. This is where you're going to find your inbox, your contacts, your groups, your Microsoft To Do, which we're going to touch on how you can start to utilize Microsoft To Do later, your OneDrive and other apps. So during the presentation today, when I refer to that left navigation bar, this is where I want your eyes to be on your screen. And again, it just helps you navigate through your inbox easier. All right, so this is just some shortcut keys that I put. If you're a fan of shortcut keys, I encourage you to screenshot. It can shave off a few seconds in the inbox if you learn to develop that muscle memory. You know, the amount of times that we draft a new message, respond to a message every day. If you can get these under your belt, again, just a helpful little tip for you if you're a fan of them. Feel free to screenshot and practice them and see if it helps you. But I'm going to quickly move on just so we can start to get into the meat of our presentation today. So optimizing Outlook settings. Again, you're paying for your Microsoft plan, you're paying for these settings. So by not using them, you're losing out on that value of things that you're already paying them on monthly subscription for. So I highly encourage you today throughout the presentation to at least take one of these settings that you're not currently using and start to use it and see if it makes a difference. Again, these are things that have helped our clients manage their inbox better, but also we did a lot of research of what head CEOs, what successful business owners use. So what better to do than to steal their tricks and to use them for ourselves, and hopefully some of these will work for you today. So many of you probably already know how to create a folder. I'm making this because you need to know how to create a folder for some of the more complex tips and tricks that we're utilizing today. But I'm going to try to be quick because, again, this is most likely something that a lot of you are already familiar with. But I just want to touch on it quickly just in case there's somebody in here that doesn't know how to create a folder. And then I'm also going to go over just some quick recommendations of how you can start to organize your folders if you're not already being intentional about that. So I'm going to quickly share my screen here. And hopefully right now you're seeing my inbox. And I'm just going to quickly go over how to create a folder. So folders are located up here in between the sweep and the rules. I'm going to click that drop down, go to create a new folder, and I'm going to name this folder To Do. Press save, and now that folder appears on the left-hand side. Again, this is most likely familiar to a lot of you. To create a subfolder, I'm going to right-click that to-do folder, scroll up, locate create a new subfolder, and I'm going to name that subfolder Urgent, and press save. Again, this is one of the more basic, probably one of the more familiar aspects of Outlook, but just want to make sure that we are all familiar with that before we jump into the rest of our tips and tricks today. So the first one, and this is a really popular one that we get asked about by our clients, are what are Outlook rules? Outlook rules, if you're not currently using them, are one of the more powerful tools that Outlook employs us with to automate the tasks that we're repeatedly doing throughout the day to make our lives easier. So if you find, for example, that you're consistently forwarding the same kind of emails, if you're consistently moving a specific sender to a folder, and you're doing that 100 times a week, and you just want to make it so, oh, I wish that there was a way I could automatically do that. This is what Outlook rules is for, is automating those tasks that you spend far too much time in your inbox doing. So again, I'm going to do a quick demo for you guys on where you can find rules and how you can start to use them and what they can be used for. So I'm going to share my screen. And again, hopefully you're seeing my inbox. And say that I want to create a rule from a specific sender. I'm going to click on the email from that sender to create that rule. Here I have one from my boss. I want to make sure that all of my emails from my boss get put into my to-do folder that I just created. So I'm going to locate rules, which are right up here on my top navigation bar. I'm going to create that drop down. I'm going to select create rule. And then now you can see here it says always move messages from Michael Drobnis to a specific folder. And I want that folder to be To Do. And then press OK. My rule is now created. I want to run this rule now. Press OK. Now all the emails have been moved to that To Do folder. And again, you can do a lot more with rules. If I click manage rules, I can show you some of the other conditions that you can set. If I click add new rule and I want to name this rule flag, I can actually set a condition to mark with importance based on a message that I have selected. And you can do that based on sender. You can do that based on subject line. You can do that based on who's CC'd. You can do that even based on keywords in the message body. Again, we're not going to go over all of them. I'm not going to show you how to do each and every one of them. But I highly encourage you just to play around, or just throughout your day as you're doing repeated actions in your inbox. Ask yourself what you're having to do again and again and again, and see if you can utilize rules to be your assistant. But again, those are rules. Hopefully I didn't go too fast, but we're going to move on for the sake of time. Quick steps are fairly similar to rules in the sense that quick steps are a means that Outlook is helping you automate, or not automate, but lessen time in your inbox doing tasks that you repeat throughout the day. The key difference between quick steps and rules is that quick steps, there's still a manual aspect to it. So unlike rules, which are automatically going in the background and you don't even have to lift a finger, quick steps may be better if you still want to review a message or still want to review a specific sender and you don't want it to be automatically moved to a folder, but you still want to cut down on actions that take maybe 3 to 4 steps into one click. So again, I'm going to share my screen quickly to show you how to use quick steps and where you can find quick steps in your inbox. So quick steps are up here, and it's they're next to that little lightning bolt. And to create a new quick step, I'm going to select Manage Quick Steps, create a new quick step, and I'm going to name this quick step Urgent. Drop down. I want this quick step to operate as a way to categorize things as urgent. So in order to do that, I'm going to flag today 01 urgent, and then I'm gonna select a shortcut. What this shortcut is going to allow me to do is now whenever I do Control+Shift+5, it is going to automatically flag the messages in my inbox as urgent. Instead of me having to, and you can do that again with forwarding emails, things that require several steps. But it just, again, lessens the time that you're spent doing the things that cause multiple steps into one step, into one click, and this makes it easier for you once you really develop that muscle memory to spend less time doing those mundane tasks that you just don't want to repeat again and again and again throughout the day. So again, there's a lot that you can do with rules and quick steps, more than that I just went over. You can automatically delete items, you can move items to archive, you can automatically forward, CC people based on specific criteria. So there's a lot that you can do. We don't have time to go through all of it today, but I encourage you to play around with it. And hopefully this has helped you become more familiar with what these buttons on the top of your inbox actually are meant to do, intended to do for you. All right, so next we're going to talk about categories. So this is for all of my color-coded people that love to color code rather their calendar items, or love to use Post-it notes, or just love to organize things rather in your life or in your inbox on a visual scale. So categories allow you to quickly group, flag, tag, and organize based on color. So I'm going to quickly show you where you can locate categories. And again, I'm just going to be demoing each step. And it's also included in the slides if you want to review later. But let's say here, I get an email from my boss that is about a networking luncheon. And I want to categorize this in my inbox so I know that it's for a networking luncheon as soon as I open my inbox. And I can also quickly search for it in the filter and know what it is. I'm going to locate categorize, which is in between flag and red. And I can now actually tag this as a networking meeting. Now, say I want to create a personal category based on whatever it is I'm trying to do. Say I want to create a category even that is review later. what I'm going to do, and I can even select with the red category, or I can select a new category. But just to show you guys the purposes of this webinar, I'm going to go to manage categories so we can see them all at once. I want to rename red category to review later. And again, you can use your imagination for what else you could utilize categories for. If you're somebody who's particular about colors, let's say I actually want to make it this pretty blue color, and press save. Now I've created that category, and now I can quickly categorize by right-clicking an email, going to categorize, and now it's tagged as review later. I love using categories in my calendar specifically because it just makes your calendar look prettier, but also it allows you to look at your week or your day at a glance and know what kinds of activities you can expect. So for example, after this webinar, I actually have a webinar that I'm attending. So what I want to do is I want to categorize that webinar as a webinar in my calendar, so I instantly know just by looking at my screen what it is that I can expect to be doing after this. So boom, I already have a webinar category created. I'm just going to flag that, instantly turns yellow. And again, you can create rules to instantly flag certain items as categories. You can set you can automate a lot of categories to just consistently turn for you, so you don't have to manually do it yourself. But again, if you're somebody who you find yourself looking and getting overwhelmed by your calendar specifically, use categories. It makes it less overwhelming. It makes it more digestible. And again, you can customize it and make your inbox feel more like your own. So if you're not utilizing categories currently, play around with it and see if it works for you. And we're actually going to get into categories a little bit more later too, with groups and how categories and groups can work together to help you collaborate more efficiently. All right. So moving on here, we already went through how to do it in your calendar. Filters are, again, one that I'm going to somewhat quickly go through just because you already are probably familiar how to use them. But I find that the people that I talk to don't often know that there's more that you can do with filters than just simply searching for a specific sender or recipient of an email. For example, I've had times, I work on a lot of projects, so I've had times where I need to find an email from a specific date, and I don't remember the exact date, but I can ballpark month it. You can actually be more specific in your searches based on entering certain criteria to organize your filter searches quicker. So what I'm going to do here, and I actually have to minimize my screen so you can see, is we all know how to use the search bar, but I encourage you to try clicking on the 3 lines here and just searching through. So let's say I want to look from emails from my boss from even February. I'm going to go back to February from the 2nd to the 22nd, press search, and all those emails are instantly pulled up for me. I didn't have to do anything, and you don't have to spend an endless amount of time just searching through, scrolling down your inbox. And again, I could have done that based on who was CC'd in the email. If I was looking for an attachment, I could have checked that attachment to-do box. There's a lot that you can do with filters instead of just searching up somebody's name, scrolling down through an influx of emails and hoping that a subject line grabs your eye. Be more specific in your filter searches. And again, waste less time searching through and trying to stifle through the hundreds of emails that we get per week. All right, so Microsoft To Do is one that I'm especially excited about. I'm somebody who I get a lot of tasks in my inbox. I have to follow up with people out of my inbox, and it's easy for things to fall through the cracks. Again, when you first check your inbox in the morning, what do you most likely see? Most likely you're seeing a bunch of spam, a bunch of marketing emails, a bunch of irrelevant emails, and then you'll get a few emails from a prospect, a client, a coworker that just get lost in the sauce, essentially. And you want to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success and holding yourself accountable to complete what it is that you need to do in your inbox, and you're not allowing yourself to get distracted by spam or allowing clutter to rule your life. So I'm going to firstly show you again. I pointed to it earlier, but we're going to go back and I'm going to screen share just to show you where you can find To Do in your inbox. So To Do, I referenced it earlier when I was talking about that left navigation bar. It's that check bar right here. When you select it, it automatically takes you to your to-do screen. Here you can see that I can see my completed tasks and also any upcoming tasks. If I wanted to manually create a task for myself, create queue documents, I can create a task, and I can also schedule it if I want to schedule it for tomorrow. And I can also remind myself, this is one of my favorite features about To Do, is that not only does it create the task list to see easily in your inbox to show in that sidebar, but if you're somebody who, even when you make a task list, you forget to check the task list, this will actually send you a notification. So let's say I want to remind myself for later today, I could select two. If I want to be more specific about it, I can select the date and I can select the time by clicking this drop down. Let's say I want to do today at 4:30. Press save. I am now going to be reminded about this task today at 4:30. It's going to show up in my inbox just as an email would. And I don't have to worry about having to even check my to-do. It's going to remind it for me. But say I want to turn an email into a to-do. Here I have an email from my boss. It says urgent. I want to make sure that I'm remembering to do this. And then again, it's not getting lost in my long to-do list of the day. I can actually click on this email and drag this email up. Oh, sorry, it wasn't dragging. I'm thinking about the next step. And then go right click, sorry about that. Scroll all the way down to advanced action, create task. Now that is automatically created as a task. You can see here on the right-hand side in my inbox. But again, if I want to visit it, I just go to do. And it needs a moment to load, but it'll load it for a second. Here it's loaded. And I can add a due date. I can make it repeat. If this is something that I have to do on a week-to-week basis, I can actually click repeat, have it repeat weekly, monthly, yearly, what have you. I can categorize it. If this is like a networking follow-up or a prospect meeting, if it's related to one of those, I can categorize it. So it's organized my inbox. I can add files. So again, there's a lot that you can do with tasks just to keep yourself more organized in your inbox. I'm going to move on, but again, this is one of my my favorite tools, something that helps me as somebody who can find myself getting overwhelmed by my inbox and forgetting and allowing things to fall through the cracks. This is just a way to hold yourself accountable and stay organized. Okay, so outlet groups, again, if you're somebody who you work on several rather projects or you work in different teams and you find, oh my goodness, I'm forgetting to forward this information. I want to make sure that everyone that needs to access rather this email or this calendar item is seeing it in their inbox as well without me having to go through the hassle of forwarding to seeing whoever needs to be involved. Groups are a great way for you to enhance collaboration in your team. So again, I'm going to share my screen. And groups are going to be located just above that to do on your left-hand taskbar. Here you can see that I've actually already created a few groups to show you guys as an example. And just to show you how it looks like when you actually create a group, this is the centralized inbox. So any emails that come to the webinar group address, everyone in that group is going to receive them. Here I've added a file to show you how that would look like on your screen. Events, we have an Outlook webinar, clearly we're all on it, but anyone in the group can see it and gets reminded about it, which is really helpful. And then here's where you can rather add members, remove members. On the left-hand corner here, you can edit the group. You can even customize the logo or have fun with it in that regard. But again, this is what it'll look like when you've established a group. To create a new group, you're going to scroll back up here to the left-hand corner. And say I want to create a group for a charity event. This is just an example, and it has the domain go to your organization. And here too, I want to draw your attention to here are the privacy settings. I encourage you to keep it as private. That means that only the people invited can access the files. If your files really aren't confidential, you can edit your privacy settings to make it public. But again, I encourage you not to run the risk and just to add people who need to see the files and the emails and the groups as you need. But I'm gonna add my boss. I can also add any other coworkers or what have you. I select add. And now that group is created. appears here. And again, I can edit it. I can select a custom logo. I can put a description. And it just, again, streamlines that collaboration. So you're not forwarding the same things to the same people. So again, I'd encourage you, if you have certain groups that you already have at work or projects that you're working on, and you're just sick of the forwarding, sick of the CCing, sick of keeping track of calendar items and tasks, utilize groups and see if they help you keep everything in a centralized place. All right, so templates, again, are a fantastic way to cut down time on those items that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So for example, if you manage a team, templates can be really useful for you because it's likely that you're sending a lot of reminder emails that follow the same format or that are sometimes verbatim word for word the same week to week. So again, I'm just going to show you where you can find templates in your inbox by sharing my screen quickly. And so for this example, I'm going to navigate up to new message to draft a new message. And as you can see, boom, templates are right here. They have the little lightning bolt. Here's where I can access my templates. So Outlook actually already creates a few templates here. I made some example ones. This is one that I made just as an example timesheet one, so that you have to send timesheets on a bi-weekly basis. This automatically puts it in, so all you have to do is draft who it's to, click send, and you're done. To create a new template, you're going to go down to this plus sign right here, and say I want to send a reminder email about a company outing. Company outing is in 2 days. I save the template. And now it appears right here. I'm going to select that template, delete my old one, and it automatically goes into my email. Now, say it's 2 days before I want this email to be sent. I can actually schedule this template to be sent by navigating back up to sent, go to that dropdown, schedule send. Say I want it to be sent tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I can select that. If I want to do a custom time, if I want it to be sent on Friday at 9:30, send. I'm going to select the recipient, and then I press send. Now that message is sent. I'm scheduled to send. I don't have to worry about it. And again, I cut down time by using that template. So now in the future, if I ever need to use that template again, it's already there for me, and I don't have to manually retype or what have you. But again, if you find yourself rather sending the same emails to your clients or to your coworkers, consider using templates. You never know how much those few seconds each day can save you. And also, it just takes some of the redundancy out of your inbox. So I encourage you to play around with that and see if it's a tool worthwhile to you. Right. Moving on. We already went through schedule delivery. We're now going to start to go towards the end here with best inbox practices. So like I said in the beginning of this presentation, for those who missed it, maintaining hygienic email habits is very similar to upkeeping a room. So in your house, if you leave a room to collect dust, to collect clutter, you procrastinate things to later, you tell yourself you're going to get to it, but you never do, the room's going to end up a mess. Your inbox is really similar. If you neglect your inbox, if you let spam or trash build up, your inbox is not going to be a place that you want to spend time in. Tasks are going to get lost, calendar items are going to get lost, and it's just going to make it more difficult to organize and stay on top of what you need to accomplish in your inbox each day. So again, these are just some tips and tricks that we recommend to our clients, but also things that we've stolen from CEOs, from successful inbox, successful business owners that have helped them be more productive day to day that we're going to steal. So firstly, your focused inbox you're most likely already familiar with, but you may not be optimizing your focused inbox to do what is literally in the name, be focused. You want your focused inbox to hold the emails that are really important and relevant to you. This is not where you want the spam to live. This is not where you want the trash to live. You want to make sure that when you're opening your inbox each day, that focused inbox is streamlined, it's cleaned, and it's not cluttered. So again, this is something that you need to be doing and upkeeping and maintaining on a day-to-day basis. If you find that you open up your inbox and in your focused inbox is 10 spam emails or 10 marketing emails that you don't want to see, I highly recommend right-clicking that email and scrolling down to move to other. And then you can also utilize the tools that we have used today in this webinar to set a rule to always move rather those marketing emails, those spam emails to other, to trash, to archive, but just consistently make sure that they're not ending up in their focused inbox. And again, this task might feel overwhelming at first. You might be starting from ground zero, but the more that you do it, the less that you're going to have to maintain it and the less work that you're going to have to do day to day. So it might be overwhelming and daunting at first, but I really encourage you to take control of that focused inbox and see the difference that it makes just in opening your inbox first thing in the morning, the sigh of relief of only seeing emails that you actually need to see. So Sweep is a great one for those of you who are kind of the box of, oh man, I've let this go on for too long. There's way too much spam. This specific sender has sent me 1 million emails. And in order to delete all the emails from this person, I'm going to be spending an hour clicking delete, 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 delete. Sweep is a way that you can remove all emails from a specific sender at once in your inbox. And I'm going to again share my screen just to show you how you can go about doing this. So here, hopefully you can see my screen. If I go to my inbox and say that I want to delete all emails from a specific sender, I'm going to select that email and I'm going to locate Sweep on the top navigation bar, select Sweep, and I'm going to move all emails from this specific sender to the deleted items folder. I can also do this and I can move it to the to-do folder, to archive, to whatever I'm trying to accomplish. But for this specific purpose, I'm going to move all the messages to the deleted items folder. I'm also going to note that one thing you can do is move any future messages to deleted items folder. But for now, I don't want to do that. I just want to do all the ones currently in, press OK. And now every single email from that sender is going to be moved to the deleted items folder, and my inbox is instantly clean for me. I didn't have to do anything. So again, don't waste time going through your inbox and manually deleting every single email that you no longer want to see. Have Outlook do it for you. You're paying for it, and it just saves you a lot of unnecessary time with decluttering. Another tip that a lot of CEOs recommended is if you find that you're somebody who as you're doing a task or as you're working throughout the day, you're getting distracted by those Outlook notifications or those Outlook banners or windows that pop up. Play around with your notifications and see if that makes a difference. Again, you don't want your inbox to have control of you. Try to turn off rather the notification bell if that's annoying to you, or turn off banners and see if it helps you be more productive during the day. So you're checking your emails when you want to and your attention isn't being drawn by one of those notification bells appearing for you. To finish off, these are actually recommended by Outlook, and these are the 4 Ds. So practicing these is going to, again, be a habit that you have to consistently do. It's not a one-on-one, unfortunately, but if you consistently start to do it, you're going to see yourself doing them less and less just through upkeeping those email hygiene tactics. So firstly, just delete it. If you get an email and you know that you don't need it, you know it's not important, delete it instantly. Don't let it sit in your inbox, because then the next one's going to come and the next one's going to come. We all get a bunch of marketing emails, spam emails per day. Delete them as they come in and don't procrastinate them for later. Next is to defer it. So deferring your emails, do it. So doing your emails doesn't mean drop everything and complete whatever task or complete whatever follow-up you need to do in that moment. Do it can also mean flagging it for later or creating a task, but you're making a proactive step in accomplishing something towards getting that task or item in that email done. You're not just, again, oh, I'll get to it later, I'll remember to do it later, but you're actively creating an action for that email in the moment instead of allowing it to sit. Next is to defer it. So again, so delegate it. So again, that's just forwarding it, so seeing it, what have you in the moment, not procrastinating to later, to make sure that whoever needs to get that email or sees that email where it gets it, and you're not, again, I'll forward it later and forgetting it. That's how things get lost in the cracks. And you just want to make sure that you're instantly doing an item to hold yourself accountable to remembering. Then to defer it, I already sort of touched on this with doing it, but by creating a rule to flag certain messages that's important, or to categorize certain messages, or to create a task in your inbox, you're not procrastinating what it is in your inbox, but you're making sure that, okay, if I can't get to it at some point right now, throughout the day, throughout the week, I'm going to complete it, and now I don't have to worry about it. All right, so we're now going to move on to our Q&A. So just in case anyone has any questions, I'm going to pause here. All right, so one question says, if you get to it, can you show us an easy way to connect Outlook to Zoom? Can you do that from Outlook? This is something I can show you, Marilyn. Sorry, I think that's from Marilyn. I don't have time to go over it right now, but I can send you a follow-up email and just quickly go through the steps if that's okay with you. But just because I currently don't have Zoom on this desktop, so it's going to take because we're on Teams right now, it's going to take a minute to load. But I'm happy to help you with that later via email if that helps. Does anyone else have any questions specifically about steps that I went over today? Maybe some things that I maybe missed or glazed over? I'm just going to give it one more second. Oh, see, it looks like Michael here actually answered your question. But again, I can send this. I'll send his comment to you in email so you have it. All right, it doesn't look like there's any questions, so I'm going to move on. Before we get to the AirTag giveaway, really quickly, just a little bit about us. We are a managed service provider, so we provide IT consulting and IT support to organizations, so small to medium-sized organizations. So we have a 24/7 help desk. We also offer cybersecurity training and testing. And it's all up on the screen now, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But if you're interested, please feel free to send me a follow-up email by replying to the email that I sent you today, and I'd help you to set up your free consultation. I also just want to quickly touch on some future webinars that we have coming up. So this webinar today is actually part of an ongoing series. So on the last Wednesday of each month this summer, we are going to be going over a new topic that's been requested by our clients, or just that we pulled for that people seem to be interested in. Upcoming is actually highly requested. That's going to be our Microsoft Copilot one. Copilot is a really popular new AI integration that your organization may be thinking about, or maybe just hearing about and considering. So we're going to be going over what it is, does it make sense for your organization, and how you can use it on a day-to-day basis. And our SharePoint one, the next month, is going to follow a similar style. And in the wrap-up, we're going to be discussing IT budget and ROI, and how you can set an IT budget and maximize your return on investment. All right, so now the highly anticipated AirTag giveaway. So again, I just want to thank everyone here for staying the entire time. We know that's not easy to, come here on a Wednesday morning. So again, very much appreciate it. But for our AirTag giveaway, I'm just going to randomly select one of the members today with the generator. So give me one moment. All right, and our AirTag winner today is Daniel Z. So Daniel Z, congratulations. Yeah, you're our AirTag winner. I'm going to be reaching out via email to make sure that you get your AirTag, but that will be sent to you sometime this week. So thank you again, guys, so much for joining. I highly encourage you all to register for future webinars. I'm going to be sending in a follow-up email so you have the recording, the slides on deck. But again, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful Wednesday. Bye, everyone.